Hi, I'm Creason.
And I'm Cynthia.
And this is Random Spirit, where we talk about random topics. What are we talking about today, Cynthia?
Today we will be talking about self-care and self-love. I came up with some questions for, Creason and I to answer. And, we watched a video that you had sent for me to watch, and I finally watched it.
Yeah, I usually watch a lot of psychic, I don't know what you want to call them, videos. But that one had to do with this topic, so I thought it would be a good precursor.
It was a really nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was simple, 5 things to know or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start off on the first question, right? The first question is, Creason, do you love yourself?
Yes.
Question mark?
Why? I guess if you want to expand. No, I don't know if it's ego talking or if it's just me.
I think it's ego.
Oh, well, you always think it's ego.
Your ego has been out lately.
It has been. Lots of changes are happening in my life at this current moment. Mm-hmm. And I love myself. If I'm to go deep down, I don't hate myself. So, I don't have the feeling of loathing or hate or I don't like what I've become. No, I'm pretty proud because we haven't went to Chirons yet, which is unfortunate because I really think that eventually we should actually do an episode on Chirons, but
that's going to take some more research.
I know.
Because that's
But in simplicity, a Chiron is, the wounded warrior, I think is what you said. And it's a piece of you that pervades your entire life.
I feel like it's the root of all the trauma in the astrological, in your natal chart.
Yeah, so to be short, mine is I feel has to do with competence and, whether I feel competent to do stuff or not. And a lot of my self-hatred had to do with my place in life. Am I at the social status that I need to be? And if I wasn't, then I was like, dude, I suck. But if I was, then I'm like, dude, I'm the greatest. Right now, from both of those standpoints, I feel that, I'm doing good. However, spirituality has helped me really definitively say that, yes, I do love myself because even if I'm not there, I still feel I can get there. And even if I'm not there at all, my worth is not based off of my monetary value anymore. I realize that I'm just enough as is, and I can still do things even if I have nothing.
Yes.
So I would say with definitive, yes, I do love myself.
That's awesome. Yay.
Your turn. Do you love yourself, Cynthia?
Yes, the fuck I do.
Oh, okay.
Again,
ego.
No, that is not my ego. I actually, I don't think ego really, ego doesn't really come into play. Ego comes when, I am a sassy bitch or whatever. Uh-huh. But I do love myself. I love myself very much. Mm-hmm. Very much. I'm a badass mom. Some of the things that, some people can say are, don't get to me as much anymore. And I can, shout out to my spirituality, and shout out to my brother because he, I had, 2 sessions with him and that fucking helped a lot.
Really did.
Yes. We'll talk about that experience, on another episode. But I love myself and I can sit here and I can say that I'm going to continue to try and better myself for me and, for the kids. And my next thing, interestingly, topic is self-care, self-love, is physical, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to start working out soon. And it's one thing that Creason knows that I have a love-hate relationship with because I have these phases
that you want to do it.
And then I'll do it, but then life punches me in the face or life throws me melons. What do I do when life throws me melons? I cut them and I like squeeze them in people's eyes or whatever. But
You squeeze melons.
I squeeze melons. No, it's not even melons, it's lemons.
It's lemons. Melons
No.
is an innuendo.
No, but yeah, I do love myself. I really do. And shout out to me. So now the next question that I came up with was, what are any struggles that we had in the past with self-care and loving ourselves?
Okay.
Right? You want to?
Oh, yeah, it's my turn, isn't it? Struggles, huh? Plenty. I always felt as though like a lot of my worth had to do with what I was doing. So, for instance, in school, I thought my worth was based off of grades. When I was in the sports team, I thought that my worth was how much like hits I did. And I touched on this on the previous question, but one of my struggles was getting myself out of that. You know, I wanted to be popular when I was a kid. I wanted to get a bunch of friendships. And in elementary school, that was not it. It was very difficult for me to make friends, you know, mostly because I was out of my element. It was, you know, I mean, I have parents that were from the islands, the Caribbean islands. And it's funny because, like, I mean, I was born in California, and the island culture was a little different than California, and we were taught differently. So a lot of the questions that I would get when I was young is like, you know, why aren't you like American enough? You know, in all too many words. It's like, you don't like the same thing that Americans like? Like what? Like, you know, it wasn't accepting of different cultures. It was kind of like, oh, you don't belong, so you don't belong. And as a kid, I just wanted to belong. When I went to high school, I tried to go and change the way I interact with people. I became much more flamboyant, and I brought out my voice. I was quiet and reserved in elementary. I feel that like kept me back in terms of like understanding people, knowing people. So I pushed forward, and a lot of my struggles with self-love and self-care came because I was more seeking attention than I was actually worrying about self-care. So I had this friend called Nick who was into drugs and dancing pretty much and selling that stuff. So I had pretty much good cred when I went into school because Nick was like one of the biggest badasses in school. So I didn't have to worry about like my protection, or like some people would get like thrown in trash cans and crap. Like I didn't have to worry about that stuff because like Nick had my back. So I spent a good amount of time like, you know, trying to keep myself in the attention limelight. I would be the student that danced on tabletops and do a bunch of weird stuff to keep my attention thing up. Now, the good thing about me is that I already had a lot of credit going inside the school when it came to the teachers as well. Like the teachers all liked me because I would like, you know, stay after and help them with little things here and there. So a lot of the teachers knew me. So I could do stuff and not get in trouble for it. And I think that like just took my ego to a whole new level. I think that's where my ego came from because I felt I was invincible. I could literally, somebody else could do what I did, which is dance and disrupt things. And like, they would go in and get like sent to the dean's office. I do it. I'm getting high fives from the dean saying that I saw you on the tabletop. Like it brought my ego way up because I thought I was like an invincible person. But I didn't really love myself. I was putting on a show.
You were people pleasing? I was trying to fit in?
I was really just trying to fit in. I did learn a lot though from that time. It's a big part of my personality now. My personality is kind of a blend between the old high school me. Like, a lot of people say they hate high school. I'm one of the few people that said that I liked high school a lot because that's where I went ahead and I acted a fool and, like, brought myself out. By the time I got to college, like, I kind of mellowed out and I was like, I'm just going to focus on my education. Like, I already had my fun or whatever. And that's why I went into, like, wushu. Before that, I was in karate when I was like 7, but that didn't really like teach me much. When I went into wushu, it was a completely life-changing event for me, and it's what I feel turned it from. It's when I actually tried to do meditation and try to do a little bit of self-love. It's when I started to actually care about myself, my appearance, how I looked, and my physical well-being. It's when I started to do research into teas and how to prevent myself from getting diabetes. I think the scare of my dad getting diabetes is what actually turned it over the edge, and where I actually started to not only care about mental self-care, but also physical self-care. So I had this kind of like small self-care routine that was built into that. And that's when I feel my struggles with at least the self-caring part started to diminish. I had a little bit of bouts here and there because, like, during school, I was trying to keep single. So I had, like, this whole, like, I'm going to care for myself, but I'm not going to care for myself that much because I don't want to, like, people to attract themselves to me. And I tried to keep that balance. I'm not very good at balancing things. I am a horrible juggler. Like, balls dropping all over the floor.
Yeah.
So, don't give me chainsaws. But yeah, that's where my struggles were. It was mostly in semi-elementary. I think that once I got to college and past college life, especially when I started the spiritual journey, I really, really, like, love every part of myself, including the parts that I felt were less than perfect. Like, I know in elementary school it was difficult for me, but I have an understanding about why. It was that, I was in a precarious position. My mom was in the school, and she was a person of authority. She would always, like, try to jump in and, like, get in the middle of, like, my affairs if something was to happen, or tell the teachers something. Like, when you have a parent who's a teacher of a school, it is very difficult for you to, like, draw outside the lines and be yourself. So that extra added pressure of her being a major part of the school that you're in really made it difficult for me to, like, color outside of the lines and find my own route. That's why when I got to high school, it was so much easier
Because your mom wasn't there
for me to go in and do that, because I didn't have a mom as like a dang teacher that's gonna go and, like, be watching your every move to see what you do. So it was a double standard. Like, people would ask, like, why are you so quiet? That was 100% the reason why. It was because, like, you have your mom who you knew.
Over you.
Yeah, you would know that she would, like, punish you when you get home or something. And that, even as I grew through school, because I went from 1st to 8th grade. It wasn't like a typical school that splits off at 5th. Like, she was there for a long time. She stayed at that school for 25 years. You should know that's, like, everybody's lives were stuff. So when I got into high school, I was like, yeah, I'm going to show the real me or whatever.
Cool, yeah.
And I broke out of that little, like, quiet shell that I was in. So, yeah, a little bit about me. But what was your struggles?
That's nice. Yeah, I wasn't a big high schooler. I mean, like, I went for my friends. But the question was,
what are any struggles you had in the past?
I had way too many motherfucking struggles.
You wrote the question,
I will say that I had a lot of struggles with my image. Basically, I hated myself when I was younger. I can sit here and laugh now, but it wasn't like that back then. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think I was pretty. I did not like the color of my skin. I felt like the literal black sheep of my family. I didn't like my curly hair. Like, I wish that I had, straight hair. And that was very difficult growing up with, and not really being able, because I was adopted, and I feel like what really hit that, like, self, I guess, like, image, and, like, we're talking in a self-love, which hits self-care too, because if you don't love yourself, then obviously there's not going to be any self-care. But definitely, when I was younger, that was quite difficult. And then once I hit high school, I didn't necessarily like the high school experience. I had a best friend throughout high school, and we did a lot together, and, like, she brought a side of me out. She was a Leo. Fucking love Leos, dude. I told you about her today. But that was around the time that, like, you start getting into doing makeup, and then, I was just, trying to, I went through a lot of phases. I went through, like, believe it or not, I went through, like, a punk rock phase. I went through, like, a little, like, fucking chola phase. Like, I tried going through, like, I went through a lot. And then once, I forgot when the fuck, my time frame is when I was younger was, it's all over the place. But there was a point in high school where I just stuck to, like, I wouldn't even call it preppy. I was just, like, I liked my, like, wearing makeup. I liked, like, wearing sandals to school. I used to, like, dress up all the time and stuff like that. And at that time, I didn't love myself, but I was pretending that I loved myself. Mm-hmm. And that was that. Going into college, I got into dance, so it was a good stress reliever, I guess you can say, for self-care. What's it called? I did the Folklorico, whatever. Just, like, I did it not for myself, but, hey, whatever. And then went into college. It's where I met Creason, and then I met you in that dance class. We're fucking, like, dancing different. I got into, like, different things, and that was, like, a good stress reliever, and it was, like, my little, safe space, dancing. But the whole struggle for me, I guess, was both. It was self-care and self-love, because I feel like you cannot do self-care if you don't love yourself. Mm-hmm. And I did not love myself, like, back then. I don't want to sit here and get into trauma shit, but when you don't have anyone, like, reassuring you that you are, beautiful, and that, like, I always felt like I always had to, like, do my hair. I always had to do my makeup. I always had to, like, dress up. And if I wasn't, then I wasn't beautiful. That is just, like, how I had seen things when I was younger. It's not like that anymore, but definitely that was a big struggle. Dance was definitely, now that I'm looking back, was my safe space. I used to, like, release a lot of my anger and, like, frustration, and just, like, through dance. So that answers my question. Yeah. Second.
Okay.
Or third. Which?
Third question is, how does spirituality come into play with self-care and love? Okay. So, most of our spirituality comes into play a lot, actually. I think that it's a huge part of it. So, spirituality is about spiritual care. It's about, finding yourself. Finding your emotions, feeling yourself, finding out about yourself, things of that nature. And I would say that spirituality is pretty much the self-care of the spiritual realm, while self-love is the emotional self-care, and self-care is the physical part of it. And they all kind of combine together for you to get total care, or total self-care.
Yeah.
So spirituality comes into play a lot because for one, it is the way that people explore themselves. They sit there in spirituality, and either they clear their mind. Meditation's really important, I think, in any sort of routine, because your mind is always spouting something, saying something to you, and your thoughts are never clear. And being able to be quiet and being able to not have outside sources like, muddling your brain is important to the routine of self-care and self-love. Having control over your body, having control over your mind is important when it comes to self-love, because it's harder to get distracted. You're not, feeling feels that you're not supposed to. But the one thing I can say about spirituality is that it also gives focus to your routine, discipline to your routines. It helps you understand yourself a lot better, understand why you're doing what you're doing, and I would say all forms of spirituality have a hint of that, but in this specific way, in terms of self-care, it's not necessary, but it really does help you get there, I feel, a bit faster in terms of caring for yourself, because it gives you the discipline and patience that one needs to go ahead and do it. So I wish I had like an example of something like this. The thing is that, like, for me, my self-care routine is completely different than my spirituality one. So, and I think that's like one of the further up questions. So, yeah.
Routine, yeah.
So, yeah, like, my answer to that is it's an important part of it. It's not necessary, but it definitely is a help.
Yeah, the spirituality. All right. How does spirituality come into play with self-care and self-love? Oh, it comes into play, all right. I feel like, spirituality showed me definitely with the self-love, because I feel like without self-love, there's no self-care. And like with the spiritual side of, like, the shadow work and, the emotions and the meditating and everything. And it just like clears the path for self-love to be able for you to sit here and really understand yourself. Because I feel like, spirituality has everything to do with the improvement of oneself. And it all starts with you. It all starts with you. The goal is you. Like, it's you. So, it helped me a lot with, like, my self-love. And I feel like I've nailed that. And now, slowly getting into self-care. Right now, it's very difficult for me to get into that, because I do like routine. I am, like, it's like a chaotic routine. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It kind of, like, I don't know if it's like an annoyance or like what it is, but like it just doesn't sit right with me to sit here and try to do like a routine, because like it takes a lot out of me and a lot of energy here while like I'm with my parents, knowing that in 3 weeks I'm going back home. Like I don't want to waste like my time, but I'm like slowly getting into it. But yeah, spirituality is a huge, it helped me clear the path. Now it is time for an ad break. We are now back from our ad break. So now we're going to move on to the next question. Creason, how important is self-care? And then I'm going to put / self-love.
I think that, I'm going to say it's very important. If you wanted to expand on that,
Why?
Yeah, like, well, that video that we watched actually is a pretty good example about why. I mean, when you love yourself, you teach others how to love you, and
Compassion.
yeah,
You have compassion.
you have compassion. It's that. It's really good for, you know, you improving yourself, self-improvement. And self-improvement's always good. There is no such thing as bad self-improvement, I think. You know, don't gloat about it to others, I would say, but self-love is about, you know, treating yourself right, treating yourself like a friend or someone that's close that needs care. And there is nothing wrong with treating yourself as someone that needs care. So, why is it important? Because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. And that's the magnum opus of self-care. No one else is going to do it for you if you don't take care of yourself. So it is important to take time for yourself to make sure that you are doing self-love, self-care, and spirituality. And the better that you do for yourself, the better you're going to do for others out there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all I have on that one.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say, that I didn't put a question on, but it just popped up in my head, is how people tend to, I feel like it's like the negative people, when they sit here and they see you, like, you set your boundaries and they don't like it and they get disrespectful, and then they sit here and they're like, oh, well, you're selfish. I've gotten that so many times. It's so funny how some people can't see that putting yourself is not necessarily selfish. Mm-hmm. I feel like being like narcissistic and it literally being all about you, and say you and I are having a conversation, mm-hmm. and then you sit here and you just talk like whatever I tell you goes in one ear and out the other. Mm-hmm. And then you just start talking all about yourself. Like, that is selfish. That is narcissistic. Yeah. But, you know, me sitting here setting healthy boundaries, me sitting here doing something for myself, mm-hmm. that's not selfish. Not at all. But back to the question, how important is self-care, self-love? It is very important because, like Creason said, like, who else is going to do it but you? I feel like it's nice for us to... especially like for me, I'm a mother, and it's nice for me to sit here and, you know, remind my kids all about like the, you know, self-love and stuff. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, when they're older, we'll introduce the self-care, but, you know, it's self-love and just the world lacks the world lacks love, and it lacks empathy, I feel. It does. And you got to have compassion for yourself. Be gentle. Don't beat yourself up. You know, self-love takes time. You're going to have your good day. You're going to have your bad days, and that's completely fine. Mm-hmm. Right? No judgment here. Now, next question. We have 2 more. What's your self-care routine, Creason?
I think routine's a strong word. But I will go ahead and say the stuff that I do for self-care.
What is it that you do now?
Okay.
Like now.
So, it depends on day. Sometimes I do all of these. Sometimes I will do some of these. But, I mean, hygiene is like one of those things that like is obvious. So like the brushing teeth, hair, taking baths, that kind of stuff that I feel falls under self-care. I should just put it in just for putting it in sake. I like to go ahead and take some time each day to, like, you know, do hobbies that I like, which I do feel does fall underneath self-care.
It does.
Mostly mental stuff. Like, for instance, I like watching psychic videos and psychiatrist videos.
Psychology.
That's what it is. And then, like, taking time to meditate, taking time to, like, get good sleep. The part that I feel that I need to improve on is the exercise part. It's been half and half, but that used to be a huge part of my self-care before. That and eating habits used to be as well. I used to drink a lot more teas and eat a lot more oatmeal, and my exercise used to be like on like a daily basis back then. That's kind of slipped away now. Spirituality at this point has been a good part of my self-care routine. Like, I've been working through, like, my spiritual crystals and learning about the chakras and stuff like that to try to get better at being spiritual. I feel that's all that needs self-care, mostly because I'm just doing it for myself. Setting boundaries is another one that I like to do. So I hate to say I don't have a routine for it, but I really don't, because every single day for me is different.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. That's okay.
So I wouldn't say like I do the same stuff every day without end, but I try to hit a majority of these on a daily basis. I will at least hit like 1 to 2 of these per day. And like the weaker ones, like exercise and stuff, I at least try to hit at least once per week.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and other stuff that I do is like, I try to upkeep my blogs that I run and things of that nature. But, I'm still a gamer at heart, so I still have a lot of those tendencies, and I don't count that underneath self-care. I just do it because for doing its sake, yeah. But that's pretty much all my self-care things that I do. Right now I've just been spending time with my best friend, so
before I leave.
Yeah, so it's been entertaining.
Yeah.
To say the least.
All right. So the question was,
I think the question was, what is your self-care routine? Yeah.
What is it that you had said that you, did you watch a video or like something about that like I go by routine? What was that?
So, I can go into this a little bit because I need to give it some context. So at work, they started to do stuff called DISC training. And DISC is personality types. It's like you have a direct personality. You have, I forgot the I. I think the I it's not informative. It's like you like a lot of attention. I forgot. It's not intellectual either, but there's a word for it. It just means that you want like a lot of people like to like see you or whatever. S is steadiness, and C is like, you're calculating. I don't remember what the I is. It's something like exciting or something like that. It's something to do with excitement, and I'll have to look it up later. I'll probably look it up while she's going and giving you guys the answer, and then like give it to you later. But the personality types each have like a strength and a weakness. Direct strength is that, they're straight to the point, but their weakness is that they don't like betrayal. Like I's strength is that they're a people person, but they are very weak when they like don't have any people around them. Like they just like lose morale really easily. Steady, which is what I told you that you was you like routine. Weakness is if routine goes away, so does everything else. C, which is my type actually, is I'm very analytical and I'm straight to the books with facts. My weakness is if stuff are taken away from me, I can really like, shut down on people. So yeah, it's personality types. It's useful for work because they really want to get a balance of all the types in there just to kind of strength out, because these types have like a counter opposite to each other. Like for instance, S is directly counter to D, and I is directly counter to C. I's are super people persons. C is like, I want to be behind closed doors and do my calculation, please. They're different. So yeah, that's where it comes from. And steady likes routine.
Mm-hmm. So I am a routine queen, I guess you can say. It's interesting because I work in chaos, but it's like it's a weird mixture of chaos and routine, right? I am a routine queen, and like I need routine. And it can be chaotic sometimes, but there's still that routine mixing with the chaos. So when my routine is broken is when like I kind of like fall off, and I'm just like, things just it's not the same. I said it when I say the reason why I don't want to do certain things and why I don't want to get into routine when I am here at home right now, because I know that in 3 weeks I'm going back home. So I do have routine, and it's routine mixed with chaos, and I've kind of like leaned away from it. I can have a little bit of like, I can get into stuff, but it's a lot easier for me to fall out of it here because I am not in my comfort zone. And I feel like with self-care and all that, the big thing for me is comfort. So when I go back to Virginia, like I'll let y'all know what my, the routine is. But things that I do day to day right now are like very limited. What I'm hoping to do is, so like in the mornings, cause like I am a stay-at-home mom, and, in the mornings, I like to go on walks with Bash. That's my, like, it's a thing that I did for 2 months? I did for a long time. And then, things happen, my moods, like, I don't like to go on walks when there's like too much stress and like when I have things to do. I believe I stopped going on walks because I had like readings, probably. I don't remember. Yeah, and there were other stuff, but one of the big things that I did here that I'm hoping to do in Virginia is walks with Bash. I believe I stopped when the girls got out of school, probably. But yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is, what is my self-care routine? Is coffee. Like, I like to, like, sit down and, like, eat my breakfast and have my coffee and, like, have, like, the time. I did this, a very small, short amount of time when I was here, is that I would like write down like stuff for the pod, and then like I have like a brainstorm fucking book, whatever. Yeah. I really don't have much self-care here.
I remember before you used to do like hair care. And
yes,
like
I try to get into it here. It's just very hard because like when I get into like my hair stuff and like it takes time, and I get interrupted. And when I get interrupted, like, and I get interrupted, like, it's like, what's the point? So then, like, I just stop, and then, I throw my hair up, and then I go do whatever, because it's just so, I'm not in my comfort zone. And then a lot of the times I'll be doing something, and, like, my mom will call me to do something. My dad will ask me to do something. And then right now the girls are on break. So, like, I'm hoping to meditate. It's one of the things that I liked to do was to meditate. I'll find some more stuff to do. I'll find some more stuff to do when I, like, when I go back, it's all gonna, like, it's a huge change. Things are not going to be the same. I'm not going to be in the same area that I was before I left. It's going to be a new home. a new city, like a new everything. So I'm excited, and hopefully I can pick up a routine, because now with we're getting deeper and longer in our podcasts, and then other things that I've been working on, and my readings and TikTok, and then like I have to throw lives in there. Like I have to have a routine. So we'll see. I'll throw some of that stuff in there, and we'll see what else that I can come up with.
All right.
Self-care. It's very hard to do any type of self-care when you have kids. It really is. But last question, and then we'll do the card pull. So, how do you make sure your mental health is okay? Creason.
That's a funny question, because I feel that as much as you would think that you have the capability to do mental health by yourself, having someone there to go ahead and support you is very important. Like, they have a lot of quotes for this. You're your own worst enemy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You can't see past rose-tinted glasses.
Well, because your ego comes in, and then, like, a lot of the things with yourself is bias.
You really cannot tell if something is going wrong with yourself, I think, immediately.
Yeah. Someone
else has to come in and tell you that something's wrong. Because when you're in it, you can't see it. It's like, oh, this has to be normal because, I'm me, and this is the normal way that things are. You can have a gut feeling that something's wrong and still be in it and still be like all Humpty-Dory.
Like, it's fine. I have this really weird feeling that I'm feeling in my stomach, and my guides are telling me, or like, something feels off, but what I see in front of me is fine.
There was this, I'm not going to go into this movie. This movie is probably not going to make the podcast, but there was this movie called Megamind, and I think it's from DreamWorks.
Yeah.
And it showed me a lot about perspective. So, for instance, when Megamind landed, he landed in a prison, pretty much, and he was risen by the prison mates, and his perspective was that growing up.
Life.
Yeah, that was his perspective. His perspective was, nothing's wrong with this. He went through the movie thinking that prison life was normal. Mm-hmm. And that's what you do. So when he went around doing his crime and doing what those guys said that he did in prison, he thought there was nothing wrong with it. But that's the thing. It was wrong. He felt like it was when someone else told him that it was wrong that he found out, like, this is not the path that I want to go in and take. But someone had to tell him. This is why I think that mental health and stuff is very difficult, because you need people that care and are not trying to manipulate.
We need people that are not going to enable your behavior, and
Yeah, but I think it's double fold. I think you not only need people that are not going to enable. You need people who are outside of your bubble. You need people who... with
a completely different, like you literally just said, perspective.
Yes. In order for you to go ahead and challenge your perspective, you cannot challenge your perspective by yourself, because in your view, it's rose-tinted glasses. It's like, oh, this is how life was normally. But if someone comes out and is like...
what the fuck are you doing?
That's not how life's supposed to be.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Like, that's a little... that's a little off.
That's where your brain starts thinking, like, is this person right? Like, this person, and it has to be someone you can trust. I don't think you can get this off of, you can trust a person that's trying to manipulate you, but I also feel, so. Well, they get really good at it. Like, imagine if, and you said, this is why I think, if you have a manipulator that was trying to get something out of you, let's say that prison situation, right? And he's like, oh yeah, get out of prison and you can go and help me do this instead, sell something, I guess. That's stupid, and a pyramid scheme. It's a different perspective, but you're still getting manipulated. Yeah, they might pull you out of the whole prison situation, but you're inside a different situation better, but you're still got manipulated into something that's still bad. And I feel that's the way that gangs kind of work. It's kind of like you're in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know if I was fortunate or unfortunate, but when I was working in one of my jobs, this was far before the current job that I had now, back when, like, I guess the 2008 crisis hit, like, I heard a lot of those stories about how it was like, dude, like, my life sucked. I had no money, like, you know, and, like, things was bad. Now, depending on the person that comes to you, you know, it changes your course, because you're like, this guy will be like, yeah, you know, you don't have to live that way. You can live like this way. And depending on the source, whether it be a gang member or whether it be someone who is not, or someone who's giving it, whoever gives you that message is, well, I don't like what I'm in right now. Let me go and
This is my way out.
Let me go ahead and do this thing because this thing's a bit better. And I feel that it doesn't really matter the person. It could be like, you would hope that's not someone that's trying to manipulate you, but it can be. Or it could be someone who's not trying to manipulate you and actually wants to see you get to a better place.
Yeah.
One or the other. That's why I said, like, it's pretty easy when you're in that position. And I saw it when I was there because, you know, that's how you got conversions to happen. It was like someone's coming to you with a perspective that's different, that sounds better than what you're at. So you're like, yo, I gotta go for it. I'm gonna do something new. Like, this thing sucks. Like, why am I still here? You know? And that's why it's so hard for, I think, also for people to leave, because they're inside that now, and that becomes their new perspective, their new reality. And it's like, you know, I did this to escape the other reality, so why am I gonna, you know, like...
And then it becomes this,
It becomes that, and, like, it's very difficult to see past that to go and say, wait, there's even better. I think that once a person gets out of one reality, that's kind of like where they sit. And they're just like, yeah, you know, like, I went from here to here, you know, like, I guess coming from the bottom, and now we're here, I suppose, you know, and now that I'm here, like, you know, this is the life that I want to lead now. Like, you chose it. And it's much more powerful when you choose to do something than when you don't. Like, when you're inside a life and you choose to do another life, like, that choice creates the commitment to stick with something, you know, even if that something you were either manipulated into, which is in the case of the gangs, or whether even if it's inside good faith. It's very difficult, I think, to choose twice, you know? So that's my perspective. I really think that you can do it by yourself, but it's excessively hard to see past your own nose when it comes to issues inside your life, you know? And it's funny because, like, I feel in terms of self-love, like, if I want to bridge it, it's a very difficult bridge. Yes, mental health has a lot to do with, like, you know, self-love. But in order for you to know that something's wrong, if there's no other source to tell you that something's wrong, you're going to have a very, very hard time seeing if something's wrong. Yeah. Very important for self-help, but inside this case, I feel that having someone there to at least tell you, like, hey, this is not how life's supposed to be, is incredibly, incredibly strong for mental health. You know, I do agree with that. It takes a village to raise or to do something right. And this is one of the parts where I think that, yeah, you know, you wouldn't, if you were on an island by yourself, it's pretty easy for you to go crazy without somebody else there to be like, hey, bro, like, you're talking to a rock. Are you okay? You know, without that, you'll be talking to that rock and thinking that everything's gooch because, I've been talking to rocks for years. Like, you know, what's wrong with me? Nothing, you know, like, this rock is my friend. But if no one's there to go and tell you that something's wrong. I know we talked about Bruno before, but he's another example, you know, because I feel that if Maribel didn't go in there, he would have been stuck in his own head, you know, watching rat novellas and whatever else he was doing by himself,
so
you know.
Your answer to that is the same as mine.
Yeah.
How do you make sure your mental health is okay? I'm sorry, were you done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, you know, it's interesting how you threw the whole perspective thing. How do you make sure your mental health is okay? I can't speak for, you know, other people, but, like, for me, my big thing and one thing that I can see that I lack is support. It's very difficult to, you know, have that support, because I feel like I do, like, have, you know, trust issues. And I guess, like, my issue is that I can sit here and I can think that I have someone that I can trust, and then I can sit here and I can trauma dump and I can get the okay back. And then the person on the opposite end will just talk about themselves. And then, like, for my mental health, that tells me what you said was not, like, you're over, like, I see it's a problem. I'm telling myself it's a problem and I'm going to someone for it. And their response is telling me you're over exaggerating. It's not that big of a deal. And then I'm just like, oh, okay. And then, you know, in, you know, some situations, I do find myself being someone to, you know, give advice, or, like, you know, people, you know, coming to me with their problems and just, like, telling me, like, me being there listening and me being awkward and me offering my hot Cheeto, like, you know, to someone in a very, in that, like, space, whatever. But yeah, I would say support 100% support would be great for, you know, my mental health. I feel like you and Trey, like, having the both, like, I go to both of you for things, and there's some things that Trey said. Trey is more of, like, he thinks the way that I think, like, Trey and I have that tough love.
Yeah.
And we are, like, pretty blunt. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have that. Like, you're my best friend. Like, you are like that, like, you know, it's okay, it's all right. Like, you don't sugarcoat it, but, like, you know when to speak and you know when to shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. You know? So I have the blunt, you know, Trey is learning how to, you know, sit there and shut the fuck up, and just, like, you know, he does, you know, give advice or whatever. But those are, like, the two that help me with my mental health, because, like, if I'm out of line or whatever, and Trey will be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he'll call me out on my bullshit, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then, like, for you, like, you have this, like, you know, hey, like, you dance around it for, like, an hour. Oh, God. And then, like, you kind of lay it down, like, this is the issue. Which, is a nice way. There's something, I'm getting off topic. There's something about confrontation that I seen on TikTok. I need to send you the video. And it was, like, different ways to deal with confrontation when you don't like confrontation. And you do the way of, it's a compliment, it's the issue, and then another compliment that can help people that, like, don't like confrontation and are, like, pretty defensive. Uh-huh. It made me think of you when I seen that. I was like, huh, Creason does that. Except you dance around it or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, totally.
The compliment sandwich, by the way.
Yes, yeah. Did I send it to you?
You didn't, but I know about those things.
Okay, yeah. It's the sandwich method or something, and I was like, Creason. Yeah, I'm like,
I practice that a lot. So
you do that a lot. Long. But yeah, so that wraps up.
Wait, don't wrap up just yet, because I'm gonna add a little bit to it.
Yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, like, there is something called, well, I'm a Virgo. I call it the perfectionist's curse, which is, you don't feel that anyone else is going to do the job as good as you're going to do the job.
Oh, we both have that.
And that sort of, like, hyper perfectionism.
It's not good for mental health.
No, it's not. It definitely isn't, because that, I feel, really brings the trust of others down, and the ability to ask for help goes way down, because if you don't feel that other people are going to be competent at doing what you're going to do yourself, you bring down and not trust that other people are going to do it correct.
This is from a Virgo to a Virgo. Okay? And I'm going to try to, like, not sound so fucked up. But it's very difficult, because that issue right there, the perfectionist, stems from the trust issues, and stems from, you asking people to do something and either they don't do it or like, you know, I can see where like people just like don't want to do it.
Yeah, I can see where people are very unreliable.
Very unreliable.
And they fail you many times.
Many times. So how many times is too many?
There is the
because
$1 million question.
That is something that you and I have.
Yes. Like, I have the same... So, as you were talking about your issue at home, I have that exact same problem.
What?
At my work, of where the reason I stopped asking for help is because it was very, very difficult for me to obtain that help when I asked for it.
You probably have to sit here and be like, hey, can you help? And they'll be like, yeah. And then like you're doing something. And then it's like an hour goes by. Hey, have you gotten to it? I'll get to it. And then like it's just like, and then like you'll do it probably. And then they'll come back like 2 days later. Did you still need that?
Yes. That's what I would eat all the time.
Oh
so
my
I
God.
got so self-reliant,
yes.
you know, and it sucks because like right now, one of my issues right now is overcoming that, because they're literally saying that I have to ask for help now. Like there is no other choice in the matter.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you can't work solo. You have to ask for help now.
Well, because like, you work in a group setting.
I work in a group setting. You know, so it's hard for me to pull back from that, especially since I'm so used to being like a one-man army, all by myself, like knowing all the answers and stuff.
Okay, was your card step out of your comfort zone?
Yes.
Oh, okay, continue, sorry. Oh my God, ding! I'm so fucking random.
Wow, she's just willing to read these cards.
No. I find it very interesting. You know, we can sit with this for a bit because of the fact that can you blame us for being like that?
Well, yeah, when you live inside a life that you have a bunch of incompetent people.
I wouldn't call them incompetent. I would
what would
just
you say? Unfortunately, they mess up so many times.
That is your ego. I would just say that, like, I don't know if, like, I take things too personal. But I would just say, if it was important enough, they would, like, go out of their way to, like, do it.
Well, the thing that drives me crazy is when they don't apologize for when they screw up. Like, they ego boost themselves into thinking that it's somehow my fault for like, oh, you know, like, why didn't you ask? Or some other BS, like I didn't ask. Like, that drives me crazy. It's like,
I can see where that falls in your life.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, did you ask that? I don't remember. Yeah, thanks.
This is why a lot of the times I like to say I need to start like filming like, you know, interactions and recording conversations with people, because then when they sit here and they're like, oh, like you didn't do this, I can like bring up the evidence. This is probably like the petty Virgo in me.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. Yesterday at 1:21 p.m.
Push the cassette and it plays.
With 50 seconds. This is what happened. Oh shit!
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me. Really, because I have the find your iPhone.
Exhibit B, iPhone. Exhibit C, tape recording of you actually saying this again.
My kids saw you. They're witnesses. Bashy saw you. He actually hit you and there's a bruise on you.
They're the jury, and they'll tell you that I saw it.
my kids are like, Mom, I'm hungry.
You can get nuggets after that. Hurry up and do the verdict.
I know, back me up.
Hurry up and do the verdict.
No, I wouldn't call it incompetent. Stop! Drink your tea. No, it's really funny because of the fact it's so funny because it's so fucking true. Right?
Yeah.
The way people do things is like, okay, I don't want to call people out, but like, okay, I'll be like, oh, you know, I need like blah, blah, blah on this day, and I'm trying to get things situated so that I can do self-care for myself. And then the day comes and I text them and they're like, I can't watch the kids. And I'm like...
The amount of disappointment.
And I'm like, going back to the messages, like, I told you yesterday, I reminded you the day before, we had a conversation about it last week.
Oh, that was this year? I thought you meant next year.
No. No, but I will say that is something that you and I have that I feel like is going to be something that's going to be very difficult to break, because our trust in people, like, I don't even think I have anything, an object to measure the amount. Like, I don't think, I mean, a little grain of sand is the amount of trust that I have in, like, certain people.
It's very difficult to trust people. I mean, one of the reasons why I think, because, like, for me, I always try to keep my word. Like, that's one of my major things that I try to do. Like, if I tell someone or if I promise someone something, I'm gonna be there, or I'm gonna do it, like, hell and high water. And I don't promise things unless I know it can be done. And that helps, especially as like this friendship, because, like, when I say stuff, like, you do expect it.
I'm the opposite. That's one of the things that I liked so bad, and I think it's because of how, like, fucking crazy my life was back then, and I've apologized already, and it's, like, one of those things, it's a bad habit that I'm breaking, that my parents did, and that I, like, used to do with my kids, where it's just like, yeah, I'll get it. Like, just to tell you, just to shut you up.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. No, but yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, so I could say, like, at least on my side, that I know how it feels to lose trust. And that was one of the main things that made me lose trust in people. It was, you know, you ask for things, you ask for help, no one responds, and you're just like, now I'm stuck.
What's, you know, it's one of the things that I'm going to end it, well, on my side, I'm going to, you know, like, probably the last thing I'm going to say is, it's so difficult when people sit here and they say, you know, love yourself and, you know, do this and do that and self-care and whatever. And those same people you ask help from. And then they come back and they're like, well, I can't help you. And it's like, I don't want to necessarily say, like, depression, but this is my big thing. It's like, I need help. I'm asking for help. And I'm asking for help, and then I sit here and I react one way, and then you're sitting here getting mad at me because I'm reacting this way because you're not giving me help.
They're like, this is my perfect time to set boundaries.
Fuck you.
That's what they're doing. They go, oh, wait, she asked for help. Time to set some boundaries.
It's literally like, it's one of my biggest things, and I feel like one of the big issues is the fact that it's so difficult to put my trust in someone to help me with certain things, you know, because in order for me to do self-care, like, yeah, Trey can only do so much because, you know, we're a couple. Like, you know, when I go back home, it's gonna be like, yeah, he's gonna watch the kids while I do, like, you know, some stuff, but he only has 2 days off.
Yeah,
so true. Like, on one, and then we need to spend, you know, time together or whatever. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
Jeez. And it's like, do I have to hire someone on care.com to watch my kids?
You're like, I can't afford it.
Jeez.
Care.com, do you have a discount for, like, free?
Not even. And then I have to sit here and bring my kids to stuff, and it takes away from that self-care.
It does.
It really does.
It really does, yeah. I mean, it really sucks it sucks to not have reliable help, I think, is the key here. You know, like, help that you can count on to be there.
I guess.
And, well, yeah, I mean, that
wraps it up?
That pretty much wraps it up in my point. But, yeah, like, self-care is hard.
That was a nice point to bring up.
Yeah.
If anyone can relate, let us know, because me and Creason are trying to find the answers. I don't think it's incompetence or anything. It's I can't even come up with the word. I'm just trying to like take as much, cherish the moments that I have here, because of the fact that I live with my parents right now, and my mom's a huge help when she can, and my dad does what he can, and my sister, everyone helps. My nephew helps. It's just a whole bunch of helping, but like in the wrong state, because California is just...
Yeah, California is just itself.
It's itself in a state. So that wraps up.
Yeah.
It wraps it up.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into Creason's awesome card, and holy shit. Okay, so we have Step Out of Your Comfort Zone. This is the North Node. Okay? I am just gonna say this, and did you know that your North Node is supposed to, I seen it. I send you all the TikToks that I see. The North Node, hits, your purpose in life.
Okay.
I was trying to look for it last night, but I think I fell asleep. I was like, where's the North Node? And then the because I was on TikTok, and the girl was like, oh, go here, and I went on there, and I was like, what the fuck? There was it turned out to be this dating app where you use your birth chart or your natal chart or whatever, and you punch in your information, and it's supposed to match you and see the compatibility with other people. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, why do I have to go on this dating astrology website to look at my purpose, my North Node?
Your North Node's found in another love.
No. I'm like, wait, what? I'm gonna have to look deeper, because I have I have a lot of astrology books.
Okay. I mean, if you'd stop getting bamboozled online.
I'm like, seriously? I'm literally, and I'm just I'll tell Creason about this, but what the fuck?
Oh gosh,
I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Find your North Node, Creason.
Find your North Node. While you're at it, tell her I said hi.
Oh my God.
No, okay. Done with the bullshit. Ready?
Yeah.
Step out of your comfort zone. I know there's a lot of changes happening in life right now, and I know we got the 7 leaves tea. It's not even ayahuasca yet. Yeah. This is a personal, I don't know if you would call it, inside joke that me and Creason have about the teas in our life. And it's not even green leaf. 7 leaves tea is some fucking good tea. Yeah, but there's a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow. Because you were healed in the right direction. Where is this taking us? If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the thing that scares you within reason. Fear ass fucking... from the last episode. This card is all about living your life purpose, which is the North Node. After this, I'm going to look up your North Node in mine, which is possibly what you've asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction, to take action. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live? Right? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? The North Node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic going north. It's a karmic point, and on the horoscope chart shows us what we need to do and where we need to go with our life to find satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness, aka the purpose in your life.
Wow.
It's some deep shit, huh?
It really is. I mean...
Ayahuasca? No, not yet.
I don't like changes, okay? I realize that changes really, they're exhilarating.
We're Virgos.
But at the same time, I don't want to go through them. Some of the hardest things for me to do is, like, even, I didn't tell you this, but flying on a plane and going to a new environment, like, is one of the most, like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do this type of experiences that I have.
Is that how you felt when you came to see me?
That's how I feel every time I go on a plane.
Was it last July?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been like a year.
Almost, because we're in June.
Well, almost a year.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
Crazy. Never would have thought. But, no, I don't like change. I hate new environments. I always get, like...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I always get, like, anxious whenever I go to these places. However, I just pull my ego out of a hat and then I'm able to do it. Like, that's usually how I get past it. Because, like, if it was up to me, I wouldn't pull anything out of a hat to go ahead and do it.
No wonder, because when you came and then, like, I took you to the creek and then you were just sitting there like, what the fuck is this? And, like, me and the kids are, like, in the creek with, like, the fucking water spiders. I'm like, let's go!
I know, you're swimming.
I'm so done.
You're swimming like a shark and
I don't think there's sharks in creeks.
I said you were swimming like a shark in the creek. Like born
Wow.
in the water. And I'm there like freaking out thinking I'm going to end up inside like off a waterfall.
Trey too, though.
I know. I don't know what. He said he used to jump and land in the creeks all the time. What happened?
I don't know. He was probably tired.
Like, I used to jump off of, like, this cliff and, like, land in the creek. I'm like, so why aren't you going inside this creek?
So okay.
Why?
I didn't mean to change the topic. I'm sorry. Okay.
So.
You don't like change.
I don't. And honestly, anything that, like, disrupts my flow, takes me out of my comfort zone, I'm, like, grasping to, like, bring it back to where I feel comfortable.
You can't grasp this.
No.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude with that.
Oh, my God.
I did. No, but...
I think you're having a lot of fun here with my insecurities.
You can have fun with mine.
You don't have a bad reading, I bet. I bet your reading's going to be like all baskets and rainbows when I get it.
Baskets and rainbows?
Biscuits. Whatever. Biscuits are not good, Kristen.
They're dry.
They're dry and they draw out your throat chakra.
You like to add gravy to it.
You need to add some gravy. Gosh, we're off topic. No,
Okay, stop.
First the creek, now dry biscuits. Okay. I think that, like, it's good to get out of your comfort zone sometimes to try new things.
Have you been asking about your life's purpose?
I really don't know what my life's purpose is. I mean, like, another movie that I hope we go over soon, Soul, was like, life doesn't have a purpose. Your whole purpose is to live life. Thanks, Soul. Great message. But, yeah, like, I take it upon myself to try to make other people feel happy within their lives.
You do.
And I also take it upon myself now to try to make myself feel happier.
Ooh.
I've been having a hard time with, finding my flow, I guess, my groove, routine.
It's kind of hard to find that flow, groove, routine when you don't like change.
She's right. I don't like it, but she's right. Yeah, like, it's difficult for me to find a groove. I have a lot of hobbies and stuff that I kind of just threw to the side. And my issue we talked about the spiritual journey was taking the time and the energy to do those things. I would be so, like, there will be times where I'll just be like, dude, I don't feel like doing anything right now, And for me, especially even before the spiritual journey, I was a workaholic. So me saying I didn't want to do something was like,
I feel like you
red
still are.
flag procrastination to the max.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be doing something than not be doing something. But the thing that I'm doing, I have done before. Trying and doing new things, you know, that is outside of a comfort basis is pretty crazy for me. But I did go like to Universal. I remember my sister saying they have like those skydiving pods where you can like pretend to skydive. Did you ever see those? You didn't see those, huh?
I haven't been to Universal yet.
Well, I mean, it's fun. We went on the City Walk.
Yeah.
The City Walk is free. It's the park that's not.
Yeah.
So they have it in the City Walk, but they have like this big tube with this big like fan on the floor. And it'll
I've
spin,
seen
like,
that.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. It's like skydiving, but you're just like faking it because you're just kind of falling.
Did Michelle go?
Well, it was $100, and we just didn't want to spend the cash.
Oh.
But yeah, she was like, "We should try that," and I looked at it. I was like, "I don't know about this."
That's the what is that? That fucking the emotions. Was that fear?
That's fair. Yeah, so
I really feel like you should start stepping out of your comfort zone, dude.
Well, yeah, that's the card's message. The message
Yeah,
is
definitely.
this.
So, like, if you ever renew your thing and you go with Michelle again, do it.
Okay.
Kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you tell me whenever I go to the store, because I'm the same at the store where
Oh
I'm
my
like...
gosh, dude. This girl would, like, look at, like, everything that she can see on the shelf and put it back. And then walk out of the store with nothing and said, like, I had fun window shopping.
And then after, like, a couple days later, I should have gotten that.
You know, it's only window shopping if you don't go in the store.
Oh my gosh.
You can't call it window shopping if you're in the store picking stuff up and then you leave.
I'm like, oh, crazy. Look how cute this is. Oh, are you going to get it? No. I put it back. And one thing that you've always told me is that if it's there, like, get it because you don't know if it's going to be there again. And I feel like you should take your own advice and put that into, like, stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If it's something that you, like, is not, I guess, like, out of your comfort within reason.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing illegal.
Yeah. Hopefully.
No ayahuasca here.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should. And I feel like, you know, possibly there is something that you will probably be doing is the, you know, therapy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'll be out of your comfort zone.
Really, very far out.
Going to the beach is out of your comfort zone.
Dude, I don't even like the beach. The birds are there.
I'm so done. I'm done with you. Step out of your comfort zone. I feel like stepping out of your comfort zone is really awesome, dude.
Yeah, there is a couple of stuff that I haven't tried due to my discomfort. For instance, I haven't gone scuba diving.
Ooh, that
I
sounds
haven't
fun.
done that. There's a couple of things. Scuba diving. I haven't Well, I've done a couple of like by myself trips. I did do zip lining. That was kind of fun. And, like,
That is very fun. Yeah.
Zip lining is kind of fun. I was scared of doing it before, but my friends did it. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'll try it out. Scared as hell, but I did it. And
yeah. You also went to was it Yosemite or Joshua Tree?
Yeah, camping by myself.
Was that out of?
That was way out of my comfort zone. Sleeping
You have it in you.
Yeah, I do. But remember, like, to do those things, I just pull out my ego. I'm like, well, I'm in it to win it.
Okay, so then just do it with, like, the next time you go with Michelle to the Universal or, like, whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And do that. That's a nice card.
Yeah, so pull yourself out of your comfort zone, guys. Don't be like me, afraid of birds. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm not afraid of birds.
No, because this was out of my comfort zone. You know,
Oh, the pod?
I don't know if this is out of your comfort zone.
It kind of is. I wasn't expecting.
And then, yeah, sorry.
You can continue.
No, I was going to say the TikToks are completely out of my comfort zone. The lives are going to be out of my comfort zone.
I cannot stand, like, doing, like, the videos. Like, you know, I
don't like doing it?
I hate staring at the camera for, like, a very long time.
Yeah. I do too, but like I do it.
We have no choice.
Well, just to like get us out there, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of things that are completely out of my comfort zone that I like really don't like to do, and that you do for me. Like say like when we go to the store, and I'll just give you my car, and I'll be like,
Oh my God.
I don't like people.
She doesn't like to talk to anybody.
I don't like to talk to anyone. And if I have you, like, get next to... Or, like, I do it to Trey sometimes. And sometimes he'll do it. But, like, yeah.
Like,
that was a nice card.
Yeah, it was. Your turn. What am I reading?
I'm scared. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't sound like a good card. Alright, the card that I have is... No, here. Hold it. Okay. So, the card that I have...
is nothing is yet set in stone. The mutable moon.
Is mutable. That's cute.
Mutable. I like the picture.
I do, because, like, the waves are crashing. It's like, you know, the path of life.
Yeah.
The path of my life.
The path of my life. Waves crashing.
He said...
Tsunamis.
Dude, don't even.
Inside joke on that one.
Stop. Shoot.
Oh, man, dude. I am not going to do a podcast on that.
It's one of my pet peeves. It's okay. It's all right. We're not going to put Creason on black. This is my card pull. Go.
Mutable is all about change. You got to change one, too.
Ooh.
Shape-shifting, even, that something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there is more room to maneuver. I didn't even know that's how you spelled maneuver.
Let me see. Oh, there's an E in maneuver.
Yeah, there.
Well, after the O.
Yeah, so take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about is far from finalized. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvelous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there is also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone yet. All right. Well, did you want to read another part or did you not?
I know that the best will unfold for me. Mutable moon in astrology, there are 3 so-called, well, there's the, signs, whatever. The mutable signs are Gemini, Sag, Virgo, and Pisces. And when the moon is in one of these signs, there's going to be more flexibility in a situation. Anytime you pull this card, it suggests there's an opportunity to keep visualizing and affirming what you want, as there's still room to change. So think about what you want and enjoy the daydream. You are asking someone that's indecisive as fuck and doesn't even know what the fuck she wants. I don't even know how you can put this card. I don't even know, Creason.
Well, I mean, is there anything about your life that you want to change or not? I guess. Because it's saying that there's...
I mean, do you know how much is going on in my life right now?
Well, I mean, tsunamis worth of stuff.
There's relationships that I would like to change, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. The only other thing that I can think of is, one thing that I've been wanting to do and that I just can't get in routine of is videos and videos and lives and stuff like that, and actually get into doing stuff like that.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I can think of, unless you can think of something else. That card is kind of like a shocker to me.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just saying that nothing is set in stone. Things are going to change, and you have time to choose how they're going to change. It's a very simple card.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm a little anxious about going back home, and it's not I guess you can say it can be with that because, Trey's blindsiding me. I don't know what I'm getting into. I don't know what this place is gonna look like. I am I don't even know what you would call it. It probably has to do with, like, my controllingness. Like, me knowing what I'm getting into and me knowing the situation gives me security. And it brings, like, a lot to ease. And the fact that I'm going and I don't even know what the fuck my address is, possibly, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
That one's a curveball. And it's probably because of the fact that I do feel like there's going to be a lot of, changes in my life, and I feel things coming, and it's just like this, I'm stepping into my power, and there was a shift change when I came back home, and now there's going to be a complete shift change when I go back to Virginia, and it possibly has everything to do with that, with the fact of, I'm not going back to the same, like, it's completely different. And it's one of those things where it's like, I trust Trey. I do. But it's just like, I need to know. And it's one of the things that you told me, dude, like, just be happy. And I'm just like,
no, see, asking you to be happy, I know it's a frivolous thing to do, because you're always going to think about,
I need to know, because it
like, we could say we're going to Disneyland, and you'll be like, when, where, and is someone coming?
Well, because I need to know when, because I have, like, readings and I have things to do, and I need to know if my kids are coming or not. And if my kids are not, no, look, because if my kids are not coming, my mom needs to watch it. We need to make sure my mom's not doing anything. And if my kids are coming,
do you see people at the podcast what I have to deal with?
I need to know what time. I need to know which vehicle we're taking.
I had to come out with a full-on battle plan, like I'm freaking like in the military for this girl, like, just to take her to, like, a simple thing. I'm going across the street. What time? Where are we gonna go?
Fuck up. I'm not even that bad. Shut the fuck up. When you're a mom.
Not gonna happen, but I might be a dad.
When you are a parent, like, those things come into play. It's different when I'm not in my comfort zone. And it's been pretty bad. Well, was I the same in Virginia?
I'm shaking my head yes, by the way.
I can't with you. You're fucking...
Was I the same way? No questions asked.
I don't like I'm done.
Oh, man. Even calling on the phone, you would have a full-on list of stuff that needed to be prepared before we even talk.
No. Remember how freaked out I was getting when that one girl was like, oh, yeah, like, let's, like, talk.
Oh,
and then I'm on this fucking, like, I guess, like, friend, like, mom app thingy. And there's this this one person that wanted to chat with me. And I was just like, I feel like making friends, I don't know if you can, like, associate it, like, it's the same, I don't know, like, issues, like, with, like, it's like I'm trying to, like, I don't want to say date, but it's like it's complicated and it's difficult, especially, like, when you're me.
Especially when people what you mean on there. But continue.
What? We're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not talking about people what you mean on there.
No.
That is an episode on itself.
Okay. So, first of all, there was this one person, I didn't tell Creason about it until after, and then that was just, like, a really awkward, weird situation because of the fact that, like, I don't put myself out there, and this, like, when someone sits here and is like, oh, yeah, like, I don't want to, like, message on here, let me call you, and I'm like, why do you want to call? I've never... Why do you want to call? Like, why can't we just, like, message each other? That was a really fucking weird situation. And then, there was another situation, and this girl was like, oh, let's go on and like like set a time to call. And I'm like, girl, why can't we just like text me? And then we had set a time, and I was like freaking out, and I was talking to you. I was like, oh my god, like what do people talk about on the phone? Like I don't like awkward silence. Like I don't like awkward. The only time that I can be like silent and it's not like awkward is with you and Trey. And then, like, some of my family members. But I was like, Creason, what do I do? What do people talk about? Like, what the fuck do you talk about with, like, to make friends? Like, what's a good conversation? Like, I was psyching myself out. I was, like, freaking out. And I was, like, pacing back and forth. I was like, Creason, what the fuck? Why the fuck did I say yes? Like, I feel like I'm going on an interview. Oh my god.
I know, you tell me not to overthink. You're like, look, you do overthink. No, but meeting new people is hard. I'm not gonna.
I don't like meeting new people. I don't like that's stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, it is. That's a huge step out of your comfort zone. I think we should switch cards because they're both about the same. They're both about change.
Like, why call someone? Like, why can't we just, like, to get to know each other, like, like, friends through text? And then, like, if we vibe, we vibe. And then, like, we can, like, call. And that, oh, my God, dude. I still need to message this girl back because she wanted to, like, Zoom. Mm-hmm. And I didn't message her back. I need to. I'm not doing it to be rude. I have been busy. Mm-hmm. I've been very busy. So, but yeah.
Well, it looks like two people have a hard time with change. So.
These two people are Virgos.
Yeah, we just don't like change at all. As you can see, one has problems with liking friends, and one has problems with experiences.
One has problems making friends.
One has problems with experiences. So as you can see,
oh shit,
you can't learn from us when it comes to these cards.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's the lesson you want to take away from this, guys. That we're bad when it comes to change. Definitely, we have.
I feel like we're because like at least for me, you look at it and you say no. At least for me, I'll look at it and I'll be like, I'll kind of like pivot. Is that what?
Dip your toe in there.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right. The water's cold.
How do you dip your toe into skydiving? You just put 1 foot out of the plane, girl. Jeez.
I'm so fucking done. You sit there and you get yourself mentally ready, and then you have Michelle go first.
She'll shove me out of the plane without the parachute.
Reason, you're not even like legit skydiving.
I need a parachute for this.
It's a fucking
I need a parachute. Somebody help.
It's a fucking fan.
Can you imagine if I push the parachute out in the damn fan?
You're gonna make me. I can't.
This episode came with a freaking parachute and deployed it.
Incompetent Chiron.
Oh my god.
I can't with you. You're fucking idiot.
When you do the parachute. Oh my god.
I can't. Dude. You just like, you give yourself time. Stop overthinking.
This damn idiot backed the parachute to the tube.
Dude, don't even.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm done. That's funny.
It is. I got people
texting.
Yeah, someone locked someone outside.
Oh, no.
But they got us situated.
Okay. On that note,
I think you should just, like, don't think about it and then just do it.
What, deploy the parachute while you're on the...
Creason, don't go into it with a positive attitude.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll just pull my ego into it. It'll be fine. I'll take the parachute for safekeeping, though. You never know if it's like that fan. Let the fan shut off. You'll be happy to have that parachute.
That is where the overthinking comes and the fear comes in. You need to toss that out the window. And you need to go with the positive mindset. There is no thinking of fans turning off, because then you're sitting here and you are thinking about the worst case possible. What? No, it's like, what if the fan turns off? What if it just starts like raining and they don't have a cover? What if like a fucking big, like the biggest earthquake in California hits? Like, what if, Creason? What?
Well, I can tell you at least in 2 of those situations, I'll be happy to have that parachute, okay?
I'm done. I can't stand you. All right, guys, that wraps everything up.
Yes, it really does. Okay.
The whole moral of everything, self-care, self-love, love yourself, step out of your comfort zone, don't overthink, don't freak yourself out, and be social.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not.
Well, and pack a parachute when you're doing the
oh my God.
The tube. Anyway, we don't have any messages after this. Yeah. Self-love for everyone. I hope you guys you can tell us your self-love experiences, I guess, on TikTok or if you have it and stuff. Our links are, well, you know where to find our links. So yeah, I guess always remember to love yourself, guys. And until next time,
bye.